Alright guys, so we are back with some more MX versus ATV Legends. Today, this is a tough video for me, okay? Because I do enjoy MX versus ATV Legends, I like Rainbow Studios, I enjoy all the MX versus ATV games, but I want to talk about the fact that, in my opinion, and how I've seen other people talking about the game, Legends is in trouble right now. And the reason I say that is because, first, the game released in kind of a rocky state. It came out, some people were pretty happy with it, other people very, very disappointed. And I liked it, but there was some stuff that I wanted them to improve or change or whatever. And they worked really hard at release to make it better, make the changes that a majority of the people were asking for. And the game was okay, but it was short on some stuff, and that mostly was the customization for both the bike and the rider, but especially the rider. The rider was missing so much stuff. There was basically very minimal customization options for the rider, and it still is that way, but they've been saying that they're gonna have free updates added to the game, patches that would eventually bring it into the game. And so I have a note here. The game released about 15 weeks ago. Okay, so over 3 months. We're going on 4 months since the game came out. And the last patch was 8 weeks ago, so 2 months ago. We did a video about it. And then September 7, you should see it on screen. It doesn't have the date, but if you go to the Twitter, you can see it. September 7, supposedly the next patch was supposed to come out pretty soon. And you can see some of the stuff that it was supposed to have. But then, about a week ago on Instagram, they commented that the patch is still in the works. They're working on it, and they had maybe a few problems that they came into, and it's still going to be releasing very soon. But if you look at it, it appears that they removed the animations and maybe the track DLC. So the patch was originally going to have new animations and maybe more tracks to the Track Pass DLC, but now it appears that that has been cut out of this patch. So that's a bummer, because the animations was one thing I was really looking forward to. And the not having the DLC together is fine if this patch would have came out roughly when they had said it was going to. They never really gave a definitive date, but they did say at one point they said it was supposed to come out a certain week, and it just didn't. So, yeah, if the patch came out when it was supposed to, not having the tracks and whatnot in the patch would have been fine. But we also don't even have the final track for the 2022 replica national tracks in the Track Pass. We're still missing Fox 2. And the season's been over for quite a while, so it's just a bummer. I mean, those tracks were supposed to release like the week of the event, and then it all got messed up. The release was really rocky, and it changed, and they just kind of decided to release all of them like at the same time, minus a few tracks. But we don't even have Fox 2. Now, Fox 2 is supposed to be in this patch, which is great, but here you'll see Redbud still has this bug in Time Attack. There's a bunch of stuff that is still really broken, and I wouldn't say it's game breaking, but it's a bummer. If you want to play Redbud, you have to free ride it or do a race, I think. I think racing Redbud works fine still, but yeah, you can't time attack, and people want to try to run the fastest lap they possibly can. I mean, I don't think we even have leaderboards in the game. You know, for Encore, that was a big part of playing that game. It was something I wanted to work for, you know, try and get a top 50, top 100 lap time, and try to race and beat my friends' best time or on whatever track. There's photo mode, I mean, the customization, there's so much stuff that is missing from the game that it's getting... I mean, I like the game. I don't want anybody to be confused about that. I do like the game. I love Rainbow Studios and what they do and the games they make and the fact that they keep making motocross games, but this it's supposed to be a live service game, and it doesn't feel like it has been that. I mean, 15 weeks since the game came out, and some quality of life stuff and, whatnot, but the game is getting a bit stale, and to be a live service game, you have to keep the player engaged and interested in playing your game. And if these updates are going to be months and months and months and months away from each other, I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, it's tough to get a player to come back to your game. I played, for example, Aliens Fireteam Elite, and they took a really long time to add any, meaningful content for me. And by the time they did, I wasn't playing the game anymore. I didn't even have it installed on my PC, and I don't plan on coming back to it because it took so long. I just moved on. And I feel like if you're really into the game, you'll probably come back to it. But if you're casual, it's going to be tough to get those players to come back to the game. So I'm a bit worried. And if the game had came out with a bunch of content, came out in a great state, everybody or the majority of people were very happy with the game, and they took a couple months or whatever, a few months to push out some good content, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But the game was already lacking on content, especially customization. And after you play the game for a bunch, time trial leaderboards and focusing on the multiplayer and customization are big stuff that keep the player in the game. And obviously tracks and content like that, that's pretty major content. But it's just a bummer. I mean, the free ride worlds were gorgeous and amazing and really well put together. The tracks, I love the tracks, Supercross and Motocross, but the free ride worlds feel like they're missing stuff to do. Lines to take. I see people talk about it where they said in All Out they could make their own track in the dunes or in the trees or at the Flying Moto Ranch, and you could. But in this game, you can a bit, but not to the extent that you could in All Out. So, I mean, the free ride worlds need to get an update, and I know they did it with All Out, and I hope they do it in this game. We need the customization. At this point, we need the new tracks for the track pass and the new animations. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully it frees up the rider a bit and makes the rider not be so stiff on the bike, more movement. I mean, we need that stuff in the game like yesterday, since the game has been out for about 4 months. And like I said, there's games that can get away with it if they release in a perfect state where the players are blown away by how good the game is. And I love the game. I do. I really do. But it is getting a bit stale. There is no players in multiplayer, on PC at least. I know some people say that they have a group of people that get on, but I mean, I play at random times of the day, and every time I get on, 0 or 1 or maybe 2 players. I mean, the multiplayer is just non-existent at this point. Leaderboards and Fox 2, I know it's coming in this patch, but it isn't here yet, so we don't even have the full 2022 replica track pack. Customization, I'm just repeating myself at this point, but yeah, it's a fun game. I think it's a good game. I still think it's better than All Out. It probably isn't my favorite MX versus ATV all time. Reflex and Encore for sure are ahead of it, but it is a good game. It is fun. It just needs, especially since they said it's going to be a live service game, it needs more updates more often, more meaningful updates. It needs content consistently. I'm not saying every week, but it needs consistent content, and I feel like everybody needs to be on the same page when supposedly they're talking about an update, right? If an update's going to come out this week, it really kind of needs to come out in or around that date. I mean, it doesn't have to be that exact week or day, but it can't be 5-6 weeks later, So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I would appreciate it. I love MX versus ATV. I love Rainbow Studios. I'm not angry, just this is what it feels like. So you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.